I'm just gonna quickly make a video on why I'm happy that you know the internet nowadays has enabled uh, age verification before you click on Pornhub to watch that content. There'll be times in my life, and even some points this year, maybe even recently at times, where I'd feel down bad, man, and I don't watch that stuff no more, man. It's not something I do. I've watched so much to the point where you just get sick of it. But there were some down bad days where I'm just like, man, I'm down in the pits of despair. You just wake up in the morning and you just think to yourself, let me just watch for maybe 1 or 2 or 3 minutes, right? Then I noticed an age verification without actually going to the actual app, or whether that be on Reddit, because that's the shortcut, which I used to use quite often, because there'd be times that they would put an age verification on the official app or website, if you will. So Reddit was always that scapegoat type way, you know, and they would give them age verification. And now the lizard brain, the stupid part of my brain is thinking, damn it, why? Because obviously you want to rub off that itch where you'd think engaging in such habit would rub off the itch to which deep down in your heart it won't. But there's gonna be times when you fall off, you're not really feeling yourself. There's gonna be times when you order that junk food, you don't really want that junk food, but you do it anyway. Different types of addictions, drugs, alcohol, painkillers, you name it. But we're specifically talking about this habit. I'm not gonna say it loud because someone else is home. But a PORN, right? And when I was having thoughts in mind to engage in said habits, to allegedly calm down or erase or run away from the pain or negative thoughts I was just going through. It's really just stemmed from boredom and a feeling of stagnation. The age restriction thing came up, and they wanted you to do a face verification. For some reason, that really put me off. I wasn't comfortable with that. I didn't want Google knowing what my face looks like. I just preferred not. And I had this addiction for about 13 years. So I was watching this since 2012, 6. Very bad. I would say the website taking matters into their own hands to block it from you, or blocking potential users to getting into the app via age verification is very, very helpful, especially to the younger guys, the minors. Because when I was a minor, shit, man, I was going on that app like a motherfucker, man. So I'm really happy that that age verification. Because in the past, when I was a minor, you'd go on the app, they'd put this like blocker, but it wasn't strong enough. Because there was a yes or no option, and obviously you're gonna click the no option, or the yes option, say, yeah, I'm 18, but you really weren't. Then you do the method of go on to Google, you change your age, you tell them you're 18 when you're really not. Looking back now, I find it crazy how I'm 19 now, because I remember back in those days when I consumed that type of content, I would always think to myself, this is back when I was still in my minor years, single digits, or maybe early tens, that range. I'd always think to myself, man, I can't wait to be 18, because when I'm 18, I can consume X content. Now, when I did turn 18, and obviously with me being 18 at the time, and the 12 years of experience of watching that content, wasn't for me. I drew to that conclusion. That's with the reps of over a decade. Over a decade of consuming that. It gets tiring. I believe there is a better way and a more efficient way to get rid of, this need to want to consume that type of content. I do believe that 100%. My way of just me not wanting to watch it was definitely the more, pardon me, endurance based, because it took me a good 12, 13 years to really just, I would say I'm 109 and 100% not fully addicted to it. I'd say 90%, maybe even 95% go over it. But I would say You know, when you consume something so much, you kind of get tired of it. And that can be with any addiction. That's why I don't watch that type of content anymore. So that was the hard way. And, you know, I'd say the experience of watching all of that for all those years, a decade over, really, definitely pretty affecting to me not liking it anymore. However, I would prefer people who are addicted to that platform do not feel and do not have to undergo what I went through in that regard. Having to watch it and, taking 10 plus years to realize this stuff's not for you. And also, it's worth taking into account. You may be, like I said, I'd love to be, as I always am unfiltered in my videos. People are out, so I have to kind of filter what I'm saying. But you may feel the need to, touch yourself from watching the content. I understand it from the male psychology standpoint. These actors are satisfying your desires, and I believe as a Christian, you wait till sex to marriage. Get to a certain age, for me, I'd say probably mid to late 30s, where I can actually get to the point where I'm able to have intercourse. But during that come up period, a few decades, it's going to be very hard because there's temptation everywhere on the internet. So far cry to what it was before, in your parents' generation. Because they probably had to get magazines. And hiding magazines was a lot harder to do, which was actually a benefit to them. And I would even go as far as to say that may have played a contribute to them having less of an addiction compared to the generations now. For instance, the millennials or the Gen Zs and the alphas. Because, magazine, you could kind of see it. It's like with cigarettes. If you were to hide a cigarette, yeah, but they still kind of know because it's an object. But you have access to everything on your phone. That's what makes it so scary. How it can be accessed in all different types of devices. You can literally take it everywhere. Take your phone everywhere. And damn near, you have access to damn near everything in your phone now. That's what makes it really, really scary. And technology has advanced. It's scary. It's some scary stuff, man. So when I heard there was an age restriction, something in my mind I was like, nah, man, I'm not taking a picture of my face. Having Google spy on me. You don't know who's spying on you in Google, You already know the YouTube algorithm stuff works. They're watching you, man. You think the videos that pop up on your pages by accident, they know who you are as a person. That's why they keep sending you the videos back. I started learning German, right? And I barely watch German videos. Tell me why YouTube starts giving me German adverts when I'm consuming content on the internet. You think that's bad design? No. They're watching you, man. My friend came up with this conspiracy theory. It's true. Also gives me flashbacks to this one game called Talking Tom that I used to play. Rumor has it that the camera lens, people are spying on. I think it's the same with Talking Angela as well. Make of that what you will. They're spying on you, man. And so I don't think it's any different with the hub. That's why with some apps, there'd be times you'd go on the app, Google would tell you, they will give you like this triangle sign, triangle warning. Third-party apps are watching you, be careful. With that page alone, it's had me draw to the conclusion, and I still stand firm in this to this day. Perhaps they really are watching you. That's a danger to consider. And also, what's been on my mind recently, like, I have this policy. It's just always been naturally ingrained with me. I don't care how horny you are, bro. Listen. And this is something I'm proud of, I just naturally have ingrained with me. Similar to my value that I just naturally have in terms of, hey, you can be the most because men, they have this thing. With men, whenever they see, beauty is a drug, right? So, us when we do this thing, they put in all this hard work on themselves. They find a woman just because of the woman's beautiful. Even though the bad habits are so clear to see, they'll disregard all of that simply because of the looks, which is ironic because the looks are fleeting. it's eventually going to fade. And that's not me criticizing. It's normal. But the men, because they're only so landed on the physical aspects and not the traits, well, it leads to many downfalls. And unfortunately, it creates. And I do believe children are always a blessing, absolutely, but bad timing. Because they didn't really want the child to the world. Don't get me wrong, God will use it for good, for the better, it will turn into good, but it's better to be planned out, And you're genuinely ready. It's also worth taking into account. You never know what's going on with these actors that you're jacking off to. You don't know. Let's say you did have an addiction, right? To the app. I'm gonna assume you touched yourself a lot and you exploded a lot to that stuff, right? Let's assume a few hundred, maybe even thousands. I know it's certainly thousands for me because, consuming that for 13 years is a long time. Ratios, probabilities, averages, numbers. Would it be fair to say that the amount of people that you've manifested your love in the real existence via the semen coming out, you could ejaculate in the toilet, there's a probability of people are alive, and assuming the number is quite high also, would it be fair to say that the people you did jack off to, some of them already dead? Right? Probabilities, averages, right? But you may not know who. And I hope you don't even bother to research it. Because if you see a similar face, you're like, oh, fuck you up psychologically, man. I can only imagine. It's been in my head. Recently, I was researching a few of these actors. Now, not that I've known, but just many who've died, their causes of deaths, the reason why they did it, most of the time it's depression. And unfortunately, most of the actresses, they don't, I'm sure there are some exceptions, but most of them, they don't want to do it, they regret it. And the reason why most of these people commit the unfortunate is because it's affecting their personal lives, right? Scrutiny in your life. It destroys friendships, relationships, career. Less likely to get a job, no one's really going to want to work with you. Literally every aspect. You can't really run, so digital image, digital footprint, and even if you were to erase that, well, other people just have it downloaded, so it can never truly be erased. Well, it can, if everyone globally who has access to the images decide to get rid of it, third parties and whatnot, but hey, good luck making that work. Man. Fuck, man. I guess the only guarantee for that that to all disappear be Judgment Day, when God comes back to destroy the earth. That's a long time away, It's really worth taking into account. Some of these actors that you're watching, to the people who are still addicted, some of these actors you're watching, right? They may be dead. They may have died a few years ago, even recent. Some of them disabled, coma, or even have children, maybe even have children already. So now you're committing virtual adultery because you're essentially having intercourse with someone who's already married. But really, you're not even jacking after them. It's to your phone. Imagine it from a third person perspective. Right? Just close our eyes. Let's say you have the lens of someone 100 years back, let's say that. We'll play both cases, we'll play devil's advocate. So, 100 years back and the present. So, from the 100 years back standpoint, so let's say a person from 1925, they look 100 years from now in the future, they see you. You're in the loo, and they just see a square device and you doing this. The person from 100 years ago, he could only wonder what you're doing. Well, he has some form of an idea because, as we know, the people 100 years ago, they're a lot more masculine. The men are a lot more masculine than the people today. And today, because they actually have responsibility. Did you see the people in their 20s? They're both like adults already. You know? So he knows what you're doing. But he's thinking, why are you doing it solo? And he can only wonder, what is the square device? Camera? Well, he'd be thinking, why would he do it in front of a camera? Surely, naturally, you'd want to do it with a woman, right? So where is that? Maybe he's thinking, was it replaced? Let's switch it to 100 years in the future. Well, you looking back? Well, you shouldn't really be surprised. I'm sure he studied the histories and whatnot. But let's say it's you in 100 years. Hypothetically, he looks back to you doing that stuff. And he's a lot more wiser, century of experience. Imagine how we'll look back and think, with all the clarity gone, and as you get older, the libido decreases. This is why there's statistics to prove it. I put some on the screen. They're a lot more focused, right? So they tend to make a lot more money. People in their 30s, 40s, 50s. But young men, we have the ability to. Athletes, rappers, and they have what it takes. You have more energy than them because you're younger, you're more youthful, but you waste that because you can't keep the discipline in check. And I understand it's hard. It is hard sometimes when you got beautiful women throwing themselves at you. It's no easy task to overcome. Speaking from experience, and all the great kings in the past, David, Solomon, they all felt the same. Even the strongest man in Solomon, the wisest man in the Bible, the two biggest kings in Israel, David and Solomon, they felt a lust. The strongest man in the Bible, Samson, also felt a lust. Rappers, basketball players, NBA athletes. What was that one basketballer's name that got some woman pregnant 15 years senior? Ashley Howard, something like that. It's probably the girl's name. One of them. Stupid mistake. Mike Tyson. Flipping Mike Tyson. One of the most disciplined men alive. He felt a lust. So something to say, oh, it's not going to be me. Hey, you sure about that? Sometimes you really never know until the time actually comes. It's a scary thing. So the temptation will always be there. It's naturally ingrained within us. Both men and women, the desire. And I guess in a way you could argue humans aren't really created to, just, I can only speak for men. They're not really created to just, how could I phrase it? Not want to smash. They want to see you, hence why you have the thoughts and you can't get it off your mind. I mean, I'm sure if we could cut that thought off and just focus on what we really wanted, we would. But it's not that simple, is it? It's not. And so, we have to find a different way. God would prefer us to commit to one woman. And the grass isn't always greener than on the other side. It's really not. When you're in a relationship, I haven't been in a relationship yet, but I'm just going off the Bible. The temptation will always be there, right? And it's not the strong. It's not necessarily the strong men who are smashing all of the women. It's not. Though there is a false narrative of these red pill YouTubers who've damaged my manosphere quite a bit, especially young, impressionable teenage men like myself. I've been a massive victim of that. You let them get to your head, and then you get to a certain age, you're like, yeah, kind of matured now. I read the Bible now, the truth. So I kind of realize I have a good on, not telling you I know everything, but in terms of the sexual aspects, you kind of have a solid understanding, moral wise, of what's right and what's wrong. This is why I believe in religion's a great thing, particularly Christianity and Islam. They really have their mindset, they have their head in check, they got the morals installed. I respect that a lot about them, man. They're disciplined. I love that about them. I love that about Christianity and Islam. Two beautiful religions. It's beautiful, man. I love that. And that's not to necessarily say you have to be religious. When you do follow God, you realize that the world is more than just what you see physically. There's another spiritual aspect to it. I'm telling you, man, it makes you think different. You move different, you act different. You can't just move the way everyone else is moving. I'm saying about these red pill YouTubers, most of them are traumatized. They haven't solved their childhood traumas. And so they're projecting that trauma online. And the only difference between heroes and villains, because they pretty much gone through the exact same thing, but the only distinguishing factor is how they respond to the trauma. The hero, and yes, the trauma still hurts, and he may still have thoughts to become the villain, which is what the villain does, but he channels that trauma into positive energy. He overcomes it, and then he helps others overcome it. The villain lets that pain consume him, and he channels that energy in a negative way, inflicting it on others, and he believes he will gain his self-importance from doing that. And this is what you're seeing with people in the manosphere. People like Fresh and Fit, Andrew Tate, all of these guys, man. Hamza. And not everything they say is bad. When it comes to sexual discipline, and from the way they move and the content they talk about in the matter, having this notion that you have to be a bad boy, or you have to treat someone like crap, or not text, it's so superficial. I'm telling you, if you find a godly woman, you have to be a godly man first. You can text as much as you want. They're not going to view it as, oh, it's too needy. No, because you love each other. You don't have to play any of these stupid games that these lot tell you to. It's a lot easier when you're in the godly path, I'm telling you, man. I do think I went astray in a way, but it still kind of links to the whole. I don't know what I'm going to title this video. We'll see. Maybe something along the lines of sexual discipline or overcoming the pornography stuff. I didn't expect the video to be this long. But Lever gave a lot of good gold nuggets in this video, so it's a good thing to know. Just a chill talk. You know, I don't really do these home type videos often. Usually there's a lot of people in the house at home, so I'm a lot more reserved in my speech and my language. Tone also. I can only hope that you can hear me with the mic. Obviously, naturally, I'm going to be a lot louder outside, a lot more vocal, expressive, because it's just me out there, and it's a whole environment. No one really cares what you're saying, but when you're indoors, you kind of have to be wary, you know what I'm saying? Making it come full circle now, linking it to the beginning with the whole verification thing. I don't want Google spying on me. I'd prefer not. It's creepy. It's really creepy enough that you want the app, the website. So, yeah, I think I have a good mental clarity now. And success in anything, whether that be pursuing what you want, success, or overcoming an addiction, it does take time. It took me 13 years. Pain to really get the mental clarity that this stuff's not good for me, man. So, literally throughout majority of my childhood, just me, or more than half, addicted to that. So when you do become a father of the future God, and to anyone who aspires to do so, be mindful of what you're letting your kid consume, because you genuinely never know. Hence why there's many case studies in the past of people that would unfortunately quit life because of social media. The parents are unaware and then it becomes a shock to them. So it can be a massive damage. I got my phone at 12 years old, and the day after my birthday for a present. I look back now, I'm thinking, Colin, you really didn't need that phone. You should have waited till you were 16 looking back. And I know 12-year-old me probably would have been arguing, Colin, nah, trust me. You did not need that phone at 12 years old, man. You didn't. So I'm happy they put the face verification thing. I think I'll make a video or something along the lines of that, because that's how I started off. The rest was just me. You jumped into a rabbit house related to the same similar topic. Yeah, I think this may be one of the few videos where I actually don't edit shit, which I'm actually really looking forward to. So the coughing is going to be kept in, which is very rare that I do on my channels nowadays. Because often when I cough outside, it's often dead space. But I think this one, I think it's justified. The silence was suspense. Not suspense necessarily, it's not really storytelling. More so time for thought, for you to think about what I just said, things I've said in the video and whatnot. Just a calm talk. So that face verification, I think very helpful. And also worth noting that the more you engage in that content, you will experience a drop in your social skills, especially with the opposite sex. As speaking from experience, it's not a good experience to have. And also keep in mind that the people you are watching on the internet and jacking off to, you may be committing a form of necropolism. I believe that's the name. So when you have an intercourse with corpses, well, in this sense, corpses because it's virtual, but still applies. If any of you guys have even a lick of morality, that should disgust you. There's a chance that you're potentially getting off to someone that's no longer alive. Because, hey, some of these porn stars are dead, man. It's disgusting how their work is still on the internet. I believe they should be, not to say that the industry should even exist, but unfortunately it's not going to move in this wicked world. But I'd say, at the very least, remove all of their content out of respect of them no longer being here. But the world isn't like that. It's sad. Go on Reddit, see comments in relation to that, what I just told you. You'd be surprised and disgusted of the comments that you see. Still being dishonored even in their deaths, exploited even then. Some people just have no soul, man. I'm gonna end the video at 30 minutes because I did not expect this to be this long. I can't remember the last time I made a 30-minute video. I think it was yeah, I do remember. I think it was 4 months ago. I was ranting about how I hate 9 to 5s. Man, I must definitely say I enjoyed this one a lot more. I wouldn't be surprised if not much of this 5-minute video because it's coming from me. But in case you did, hey, what's up, man? What's up? Appreciate it. It's worth taking into account. I believe now with this mindset, I can go into my 20s with peace. Because I solved the trauma and the beatings and what I've given myself from it. So I can be in the category of men. That's not the statistic of and the contain of youth is wasted on the young, because most youth or people with potential takes energy, the libido takes them astray. I've gone through 13 years of BS. I've solved the trauma, so now I can look on brace my 20s, which is in a little over 6 months, with a clear head. And I'm really gonna conquer life. It's gonna be a good one. So if any of you are still struggling with your addiction, one step at a time. And take in mind everything I said. Key takeaways: the internet spying on you with the face verification thingy, and you may potentially be getting off to someone who's no longer alive, or maybe even disabled or dead. Keep that in mind.